Hi everyone, I'm Emma, and you're on the Stories by Emma channel. Let's dive into some amazing stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. On the trail of the forgotten path, Jackson had always wanted to escape the hustle and bustle of New York City and reconnect with nature. When he heard rumors about a hidden trail deep within the Rocky Mountains, he couldn't resist the urge to explore. Armed with a backpack and a map handed to him by an old hiker, he set out for what seemed like an ordinary adventure. But the trail was anything but easy. Dense forests and unpredictable weather made him second-guess his decision, yet Jackson pushed on. As Jackson ventured deeper into the mountains, the air grew thinner and the silence more profound. The only sounds were his boots crunching fallen leaves and the occasional bird's song. He felt both isolated and free, with the towering pines guiding his way. After hours of hiking, he found an old, overgrown sign that read "The Forgotten Path." His heart raced with excitement and curiosity as he followed the narrow trail that vanished into the mist. Jackson's excitement quickly turned to unease when he realized that the path wasn't as forgotten as it seemed. He noticed fresh footprints in the muddy trail, though there was no sign of anyone around. The shadows grew longer as the sun began to set, casting eerie shapes through the trees. Deciding to set up camp before darkness fully descended, Jackson remained uneasy. Who had been on this trail, and why had they left no other trace? That night, Jackson had trouble sleeping, his mind racing with unanswered questions. The wind howled through the trees, and every snapping branch made him sit up inside his tent. He couldn't shake the feeling of not being alone, though no one was in sight. By dawn, he was eager to continue, hoping daylight would bring clarity. Packing his gear, Jackson resumed his trek, more determined than ever to solve the mystery of the footprints. As he hiked further, the landscape began to change. The trees thinned out, revealing steep cliffs and vast open spaces. Jackson marveled at the view but kept his focus on the trail. Suddenly, he stumbled upon an old cabin hidden behind a thick cluster of bushes. The cabin looked abandoned, its windows shattered, and the roof partially collapsed. Curiosity got the better of him, and he cautiously approached, unsure of what might be inside. Inside the cabin, dust and cobwebs covered everything. It seemed as though no one had set foot there in decades. As Jackson explored the cabin, he discovered an old journal tucked beneath a broken chair. The pages were brittle, but the handwriting was still legible. The journal belonged to a man named William, who had lived in the mountains, searching for a lost treasure. Jackson's heart raced as he read about the dangers William had faced and the cryptic clues he had left behind. The journal mentioned a nearby waterfall where William believed the treasure was hidden. With renewed energy, Jackson left the cabin and set off to find the waterfall. The trail became more treacherous, with narrow ledges and steep drops. His muscles ached, but the thought of discovering something no one else had kept him moving forward. After several hours of hiking, he heard the unmistakable roar of rushing water and knew he was close. The waterfall was more magnificent than Jackson had imagined. Crystal-clear water cascaded down a jagged cliff, crashing into the rocks below. But something caught his eye: a small cave hidden behind the waterfall. Carefully, he made his way across the slippery rocks, feeling the cool mist on his face. Once inside the cave, he noticed markings on the walls, symbols that matched those in William's journal. Jackson followed the symbols deeper into the cave, his heart pounding with anticipation. The air grew damp and cold, and his flashlight flickered as he moved forward. Just as he thought he had reached a dead end, he saw a stone slab in the corner, partially covered with moss. Clearing it off, Jackson revealed an ancient chest. Could this be the treasure William had spent his life searching for? With trembling hands, Jackson opened the chest, only to find it filled with old documents and maps, not gold or jewels. Though initially disappointed, he became intrigued as he examined the papers. The documents detailed the existence of secret societies that once operated in the area, protecting sacred lands and ancient knowledge. Jackson realized that the true treasure wasn't material, but the hidden history and mysteries of the land. As Jackson left the cave, he felt a strange sense of peace. The treasure hunt had led him to something far more valuable: an understanding of the land's deep history. He looked out over the mountains, feeling more connected to the earth than ever before. The mystery of the footprints still lingered, but he no longer felt uneasy about them. Instead, he welcomed the unknown, ready for whatever adventure came next. On his way back, Jackson noticed the footprints again, this time leading in a different direction. Curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to follow them. The footprints led him to a small clearing where an elderly man sat by a campfire, gazing into the flames. Jackson approached cautiously, unsure of what to expect. The man looked up, smiled, and invited Jackson to join him by the fire. The old man introduced himself as William's grandson, who had been retracing his grandfather's steps for years. He shared stories of his grandfather's adventures and how he, too, had been searching for the same treasure. The two men talked for hours, exchanging tales of their journeys. Jackson realized that the real treasure was the connection he had made, not just with the land, but with someone who shared his passion for exploration. As the sun began to set, Jackson and the old man packed up their gear, ready to head back down the mountain. They walked together in comfortable silence, their bond growing stronger with each step. Jackson felt grateful for the unexpected friendship and the new perspective he had gained. The path that once seemed so mysterious now felt like home. When Jackson finally returned to the trailhead, he looked back at the mountains one last time. The adventure had changed him in ways he hadn't expected. He had come searching for something lost, only to find something even more valuable: connection, history, and peace. Smiling to himself, Jackson climbed into his car, ready for whatever journey lay ahead.